I've wanted to meet you for so long now, Mom.
Something called the Kokage Summit, but I don't want what that is, so I guess doesn't really help, Naruto said, looking at him. Said Sasuke nodded, almost as if he understood what Naruto was saying. Alright, next question. Why did they say you're a murderer? Have you actually killed people before? Sasuke asked, looking at him. Naruto shook his head side to side and looked at him. No, but they aren't the only ones that um, accuse me of that. A lot A lot of others seems to think I'm a murderer too, Naruto said, looking at him. Why? Sasuke asked, looking at him. I don't know. It's always been like this, Naruto said, looking away from the raven hair male. Why haven't you told anyone about this? Sasuke asked, looking at him. Naruto sighed and placed his head on his hand. Who am I supposed to tell? Almost the whole entire population of the village hates me, and the others just don't want anything to do with me. I have tried to tell the Hokage a few times, but nothing ever changed. When I do, Naruto said, looking at him. I see, Sasuke said, looking at him. He then turned his head to the side and looked at the local clock that was hanging on the wall. Well, you might want to start hanging, heading home. It's getting little late, the male said, looking at him. It can't do that either, Naruto said, little sad. Why not? Sasuke asked, looking at him. They burned my apartment down today, Naruto said, looking at him. Sasuke's eyes widened as he heard this at him. And you're certain that it was them? He asked, looking at the young blonde in front of him. Yeah, I'm certain. When I went home because I thought it would be safe there, I found it on fire. A bunch of people stand in front of it, Naruto said, looking at him. Sasuke grinned his teeth and looked at the blonde, looking at Naruto. I mean, sure, Sasuke might not have liked Naruto. If anything, he hated him, but this was just getting ridiculous. The people of the village are singling him out, and even the ninjas are taking part of it now. There's no way he's going to survive if this keeps up. Sasuke then looked at Naruto and said, first things that comes to his mind, then why don't you leave? He asked, looking at the young male. What? Naruto asked, a little confused. Why don't you leave? I mean, if people are really treating you like if you re why don't you leave? I mean, if people are really treating you like this every day and things aren't getting any better for you, then why don't you just leave? Sasuke asked, looking at him. Then I would be considered a rogue ninja, Naruto start only to be cut off by the young male. That was looking at him. No, you wouldn't be rogue ninja. It's a ninja that leaves their village. You're not one of our ninjas yet, which means you can leave and be free for consequence. Leave and be free for consequence, Sasuke said, looking at him. The blonde then looked down as if he was considering the idea. I looked as if was considering the idea, but just need a little extra push to make it happen. Look at this way. You'll leave the village where people hate you. You'll treat you like dirt, and in turn you may find a place where the people like you and you're welcome home with the people smiling at your return, Sasuke said, looking at him. Naruto was quiet for a moment. before a smile overtook his face and he looked at the mail in front of him. You know what, Sasuke? You're right. I'm leaving this village. Who needs this crappy place? Naruto said, looking at him. Sasuke mentally smirked at this. Not only he did possible give someone better life, but he also managed to get rid of someone that he hated without getting into a real trouble. Naruto then stopped when he reached the door and looked down. Sasuke saw this and looked at him. What's wrong? I thought you were going to leave the village, Sasuke asked, looking at him. Well, I was just about, but I don't have anywhere to go. I mean, I never had any family that I know, so where am I supposed to go? Naruto asked, looking at him. Sasuke then looked down at the ground and thought for a moment. However, while he was thinking, Naruto also brought up another point at and that only if I manage to get outside of the gates. I mean, those people hate me. Why on earth would they let me leave? Naruto said, looking at him. Sasuke to thought about it for a moment, then sighed. Well, think more about it later, Sasuke said, looking at him. He then walked into the kitchen, and when he saw that Naruto wasn't following him, he turned and looked at the blonde male. Well, aren't you coming, dope? He asked, looking at him. Naruto just got a little irritated at the fact Sasuke had decided to call him by his name by answering nonetheless, well, just that this is your house and I don't want to, well, take advantage of your kindness, Naruto said, looking at him. What kindness? Sasuke asked, looking at the blonde boy. Well, it's just you have done more for me today than other else has in years. You saved me from someone else took me to your house and planning to help me with some things, and now you're heading to the kitchen. I mean, I just feel like you've done too much for me already, Naruto said, looking at him. Sasuke then thought about what he said and looked at him. Yeah, well, I wouldn't get used to it. You're leaving, remember? Sasuke said at him. Naruto nodded and looked at him once. They got into the kitchen. Sasuke walked over to some cabinets and looked for some food. He didn't find anything that he had the time or energy to cook well. Nothing except a few cups of instant ramen. He saw them. He pulled out of the instant ramen cups and looked at Naruto. I usually don't eat these, but they're all I ever see you eat. Why not? Said Sasuke, tossing him a cup. The raven haired male then walks over to the sink and began to run some water and turned to look at Naruto while he was waiting for it to get warm and saw Naruto looking at the cup a bit. Naruto then looked at him, a smile, sad smile. This seems a little hard to believe, but I actually don't like ramen, he said, looking at him. Sasuke's face then went from motionless to feature to his confused look at Naruto, saw his, and decided to explain. Well, you see, the reason I am always eating ramen is because it's really only thing I can afford to buy, Naruto said, looking at him. What do you mean? Sasuke said, looking at him. Well, I don't have parents or a clan estate like you, so I forced to get money however I can. However, what I do save usually is enough to get anything that I will last. That's and the stock that will last, the third clerk and manager usually